It's been great to be on this journey together of learning about how to overcome those emotions that destroy. And I hope by now you realize anger is not bad or good. It is. It's an emotion God gave us. It's that neutrally charged emotion that's for self-preservation, protection. And we've learned that it wears many faces, and we've learned that it's the tip of the iceberg. What you know is that when you're angry, it's the light of the dashboard on your soul. It tells you something is wrong underneath or just needs to be addressed. We said, number one, it could be hurt. There's an unmet need. You've been rejected, or someone said something, or they didn't come through for you, or expectations. It could be you're just frustrated. I mean, you expected this, and you're angry because what you received, wasn't at all what you expected. And the third, and this is a little more sensitive one, is we're insecure. And my thesis on life is that we're all desperately insecure ever since the fall. I mean, we've been hiding from God. We're really afraid that people will see our nakedness. And I don't mean the physical nakedness. I mean that we don't measure up. And so we've put psychological fig leaves around us ever since the fall. And when people get real close or they personally attack our worth, whether that's a physical thing or emotional, spiritual, intellectual, we get threatened. In fact, that wise man, Solomon said, Proverbs 15:1, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Why? A harsh word, when someone says something harsh or critical, well, you feel threatened. That's my insecurity. And then we respond. One of the things I've learned, and you can take this for what it's worth, is when I am defensive, when I have to give back an answer real quickly, when I have to defend myself really quickly especially, when I'm very defensive, usually someone is pushing on my insecurity button. And this is true of all people. In fact, a couple biblical stories come to my mind that are encouraging for me to deal with my own insecurities and realize that apart from finding my security in Christ, I can spend my whole life being angry about things, trying to protect this chip that I'm afraid people will see and think doesn't measure up. But do you remember the story of Saul? He was the tall king of Israel, good-looking, handsome. The people wanted a king, and he fit the profile. And so pretty soon, David comes along, and he's just, he's from a small tribe, and he's the lowest son, and he kills Goliath. And so Saul says, this looks like a good guy for my army, and he recruits him, actually has him live in the palace. And then he sends him out on these missions. And everywhere David goes, God puts his hand on him. And so victory after victory after victory. And then we find in 1 Samuel 18, verses 5-8, something happens. David is coming back from the victories, and the people are beginning to sing a song as he comes back into town. It says, Saul has slain his thousands, David his 10,000s. Notice Saul's response. Then Saul was very angry, and the saying displeased him, and he said, they've ascribed to David 10,000, only 1,000 to me. Do you see what happened? Instead of realizing, this must mean I'm a great king who's delegated wisely, who are bringing up great people to make a great impact, he's threatened. He's insecure. He gets angry, and that anger opens him up to demonic activity, and he becomes David's enemy. If you read early in the book of Acts, the early apostles, God put his hand upon them. They're doing signs and wonders, and the early church is growing. And in Acts chapter, it's 5, verses 17 and 18, when that happens, then the high priest rose up, and those who were with them, and they were filled with indignation, and they laid their hands on the apostles. Here's what I got to tell you. We all are going to struggle with insecurity. In fact, a book that made a huge impact on me, I'm sure it's out of print, by Paul Tournier, called The Strong and the Weak, just describes that all of us are insecure. And some people reveal it with weak reactions. We withdraw, we're shy, we'll look at our feet, we don't engage. And other people with big reactions. And both are designed to put people away from us, to create space. And some people will tell you how many people report to them and where they went to school and their kids' scores and how much money they have. And in other words, they really try and do this, but it's all to push you away. And when I see people power up, or if I see people withdraw, what I know is they're feeling very insecure. And when I can see that, then God can give me compassion to care about them rather than either be intimidated by the strong reactions or get frustrated by the weak ones. Here's what I want you to know. Anger wears many faces. You need to discern which is your primary way of expressing it. We know it's a secondary emotion. And so when I'm angry, look under the hood. When you're angry, look under the hood. Is it hurt? Is it frustration? Or is it insecurity? And if it is, then begin to ask the right questions. And in the book, we've got an inventory and a very clear, practical way where you can take what you've just learned and put it into practice with the people that you love the most. Anger and how you respond to it is either going to make or break your relationships. We want to help you.